Traditional spiritual paths almost always point in one direction, up. The goal is to transcend the physical body, quiet the mind, and find a lasting peace in a realm far above the chaos of everyday life. However, this upward trajectory leaves the physical world behind. While the individual mind reaches for silence, our bodies and societies remain stuck in a repetitive cycle of struggle. This illustrates the limit of ascension. Moving exclusively upward divides consciousness, achieving nirvana but abandoning the earth. To transform our existence, the direction must reverse. A downward force must strike the material sphere to create a closed, transformative loop. In this framework, escaping reality is only the first half of the journey. The second half requires bringing the spirit down. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother were the primary architects who mapped this missing downward vector of human evolution. Historically, this work hit a stalemate. High spiritual forces were often too refined for the density of matter, and the physical world possessed a massive inherent resistance to being changed. This created a permanent friction. For millennia, the physical body and the material world were treated as enemies of progress rather than participants in it. That thousands of years old resistance began to give way in the mid-20th century, triggered by two distinct events. These specific breakthroughs shifted the work from ancient mysticism toward a technical, evolutionary process that officially began its next phase in the 1950s. The first breakthrough occurred on February 29, 1956. During this profound event, a higher plane of consciousness, referred to as the descent, physically breached and entered the Earth's atmosphere. This supramental consciousness is defined as a dynamic power of truth and light. Unlike the stillness of meditation, it is an active force capable of reorganizing matter. On an individual level, this force exerts a physical pressure. It attempts to penetrate the inner mind and settle into the very cells of the body. But even with this force present in the atmosphere, a final obstacle remained. Nature, the material engine of the planet, was still instinctively resisting the intrusion. The 1956 descent provided the necessary fuel, but the world's physical systems were not yet willing to run on it. The resolution arrived on January 1, 1958. Nature is viewed as a massive, tireless cauldron, a force that spent millions of years churning, building, and destroying physical forms to find new combinations. The Mother described an experience of total identification with this churning play of nature, entering into its mechanical rhythm. At this moment of identification, nature recognized that the new supramental force did not intend to diminish or reject her movements. Understanding that this higher consciousness sought to embrace and complete her, nature agreed to actively collaborate with the descent. Spirit and matter stopped acting as adversaries and merged into a single, unified system for the first time in evolutionary history. This new collaboration has placed the universe in a state of perpetual internal reorganization. As new elements are absorbed, the entire system must shift to accommodate them, becoming increasingly complex. Within this total harmony, things we perceive as contradictions are simply elements out of place in the new order. This reveals a reality that functions as a self-optimizing machine, upgrading its own internal structure from the inside out. While this force is now permanently active in the atmosphere, it requires an individual to consciously receive and respond to it. This preparation is a physical challenge. The body often encounters illness or inner friction as it attempts to adapt to the new, descending pressure. The task involves opening the inner being to pull this higher consciousness down into daily actions. The current phase of evolution requires the courage to pull the highest ideals down into the raw material of the earth.